All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for After the Rain, episode 11. The second to the last episode.
Yep. Wow, only one more episode left after this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But things are going well.
Yes,
you know,
very
like
well.
the relationship has a good foundation as a relationship.
That's getting built. Yes.
Yeah.
It's something that I would say I applaud this show every time they focus on this, because they need to be friends. They need to have, like you said, a foundation. They need to have an understanding of how, if they're serious about this, how much time it's going to take to develop this, to allow for people to be patient with each other. And also, in a lot of ways, not just for Tachibana, but for Kondo to discover who they are again, potentially, to allow them to change and flow and evolve. And what we're seeing specifically with Kondo, it's really cool that, like, it's not a conflict thing yet, but it's something where he might leave the restaurant thing to go back into writing and stuff. He might not have time really for Tachibana at that point, you know?
That would be, like, I would absolutely take my hat off to Kondo if he actually did quit the restaurant and did the writing and stuff, because that's like doing that when you're younger. It's like, okay, yeah, because, you know,
like
young
you.
and exactly, right? You know, I know what that's like.
You know exactly what that's like, yeah.
At his age, that's a whole different thing.
With the kid. Well, I mean, the kid doesn't live with him.
The kid doesn't live with him, but it's the idea that, like, getting a job when you're older is a lot harder than getting a job when you're younger.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so
and then we have this whole thing with Tachibana and you know, and
Haruka
and Haruka. Thank you. Maybe finding ways to mend the bond and reestablish it or strengthen it.
Have an understanding of where they're at, so that way it's if they aren't spending, it's clear. So even if they aren't spending as much time together and things don't go back to the way things were, there's no hard feelings over it. And then, you know, later, you know, maybe in a year or 2 or 10 or whatever, they can catch up, like Kondo and his buddy did, Chihiro.
Yes, Chihiro, yeah.
Because that would be great.
That would be awesome. But yeah, y'all, this show is amazing. So without further ado, let's get into it. Everything's so gray. Oh. Talk about wounds getting
and the fact that
healed.
She's not back.
Yeah. Oh, Haruka.
同じ怪我でもそれぞれ違うのは分かってる。だけど。誰かにできてアキラにできないなんてどうしても思えないよ。アキラ。
Oh. No, Rain.
Looks like Rain,
yeah.
It's been a long time and they haven't played the opening. I just realized.
I know, yeah. And there we go.
So she wants to start working a lot more.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. And watch, his schedule is going to transition out of this, or just to showing up less.
That would be
starts training up another manager.
Yeah, if it's something like, oh, you guys are going to be getting a new manager, that would be
like I'm telling you,
that would be a very good fitting, like, final conflict for the show.
Right. Suki nan desu. Suki nan desu. Na 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 ni na 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 nia. Da 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 da.
Then it turns into llamas.
Yeah. It's interesting, this opening, as the show goes on, starts to feel less and less like actually a representation of where the show's at story-wise because of how much things have changed, actually. Like,
sure.
Like, she's in the real world more than her imagination. Tachibana? Whoa. Oh, haha. Hey! Oh, she didn't hear you. Go say hi.
Run over to her.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh my God. Don't do that to me, show. Don't do that.
Suddenly, a main character dies. The moral of this entire story is look both ways before crossing the street.
Seriously. Oh, she lost her?
Here's my availability.
Mm-hmm. See, meeting at the head office. Meeting at the head office, corporate. Oh,
hey, I mean...
Oh, man, it's happening.
Time is money.
Time is money. Watch, and this'll... Whoa.
Man, if you're right.
I'm telling you. And that's why the old lady is a little bit happier. She maybe caught wind of that. Oh, crap, he left it. Hopefully he doesn't get fired or something, you know, like...
That would suck.
Haruka? Yes! Yes!
Hey!
Yes!
Awesome!
That was some curt, verbiage. Oh, and he's coming back right as this... Okay, just grab and go.
Mm-hmm.
They need to talk. They need to talk.
Bottomless. She can stay here as long as she needs to.
Oh,
okay.
The lighting. The lighting.
Yeah, that lighting.
Oh.
Holy crap.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Oh. Oh. Kondo, you have a meeting.
Yeah. Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Those are the kinds of words you'd expect to hear between those two, like Kondo and Tachibana.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
oh my gosh.
Well, if the parallel isn't obvious to Tachibana.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she's thinking on that meta level, Jacob.
Yeah.
Like we're in an omniscient perspective right here.
But I'm almost, yeah. Like her postcard in the previous episode was kind of saying that.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think she wants to. I don't think she wants to wait forever. Oh, they're really jumping around, like... What? What?
Holy crap!
Oh! Chihiro! Bro! That's so awesome!
Cool, I'm already there.
Ah! Nice! That's amazing. Oh, this guy. It's so weird. Ow! Na-na-na. I'm much obliged to you. I love their conversations, their banter and everything. It's so perfect. That? The manuscript? Oh,
yeah!
Wow.
That thing.
Subu Subu. Oh, he's going to go on an inspection. So they're doing some kind of writing exercise together?
Probably. Like a timed writing thing, or...
That's hilarious.
コーヒー落ちるまでに短編かけなきゃお仕置き。思えばとんでもない儀式だぞ。
That's brilliant, though.
サイフォンのコーヒーって1分で落ちるのか。そうな、目安だろ目安。俺は文学の潮流を変える激流の岩。
Oh, really? Wow.
俗に言う若気の至りか。
Dang, no, that's passion. That's special.
No,
Nice.
like that, you are.
Nice.
あんな小説。回収に込みたそうだ。お前の作品はたくさんの人を。
I love how brutally honest he is.
人を救うためのもんじゃねえんだよ。文学ってのは毒であるべきものなんだ。
He's trying to use reverse psychology.
それを言いたいが今日ここに来たのか。悪いか。
No problem with that.
あとお前の顔を見たくて来た。気持ち悪い。の俺を知ってる。お前に会いたかったんだ。
Yeah. Yeah.
一度走り出したら止まらねえ。つまずくことさえ許されず。
Wow.
ゴールがどこなんて分かりゃしねえ。
Oh.
周りの期待に押しつぶされそうになりながら、
Oof.
人を生み出し続けている。そんな
Jeez.
自分を戒めたくて、お前に会いに来た。自分を確かめるためにな。
Wow.
Holy crap.
なんちゃって。
Oh my god.
No, this is real. This is real.
本当は書けないんじゃなくて書かないんだろ。
Yep. Yep.
昔と同じような気持ちでなきゃ書いちゃいけねえと思ってんだ。
Which is
Right.
bullcrap.
Because you won't always feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, love isn't there just because you feel it one day, you
It's a
know?
decision.
Yeah.
あの頃に戻れるはずもないし、青臭い感情だけではどうにもならないことがたくさんあった。でも、書くことだけは夢や憧れに正直でありたい。たった一行でいい。猛毒を落としたい。たった一人。その一人の心を毒で侵したい。なんちゃって。
Yeah.
あの頃のまま夢一個で生きてる。あの部屋だって未練じゃなくて執着なんだ。
Well said. Well said.
お前も同じだ。夢一個握りしめてより高い文学の頂に挑んでる。あの頃のままに。しかし眺めの悪いところだね。先が見えねえからワクワクすんだよ。
Ah.
執着か。
Come on, Kondo!
Do it!
だとしたらこの思いを持ち続けていれば
Kondo, come on.
たどり着けるのだろうか。
You can
Don't
find
lose
your
your
way!
Yeah.
A night run. She's gonna go on a night run.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, come on.
So maybe it'll be about Tachibana also learning to sort of let go of Kondo in that way?
Possibly.
She's been poisoned?
Oh.
あのね、これ忘れ物なの。
Aww. In the parallels to before.
Yep. Is she gonna run after them?
Go.
お客様。
Yeah, they can't hear you.
Nope. Whoa.
Wow.
バイトよりもやりたいことがあったらそっちに時間取ってもいいよ。学校とかいろいろあるでしょ。
他にやりたいことなんてありません。
Well,
Okay.
Oh, the atmosphere is... Oh. She crying? She needs something to wash away the tears. Oh. Raining.
Yeah.
I've been listening to this song so much now on Spotify.
Yeah.
Since we found Eimer, yeah. It's so good. Hey, she's doing the Caleb self-hug. I just realized.
I think you pointed that in one of the other episodes too.
Of me, what a good thing we lose. What a bad thing we knew. Oh yeah, I did point it out before. You're right.
This song really is just so pretty.
What a good thing we lose. What a bad thing we knew.
I love the color scheme they do for the last shot too. Wow.
Yeah.
That episode was indeed quite amazing. I loved the focus they gave to Kondo and Chihiro. That was fantastic. Their interactions were excellent. The points where the characters weren't saying anything, but so much was being said.
Yeah. And I gotta say, my favorite parts in this episode are almost all entirely within the Chihiro Kondo conversation.
Yeah, I mean, because it's so good.
One, Chihiro's writing and his dialogue, like specifically, is just top tier. It's fantastic. It establishes so much understanding of their history and the way they communicate with each other.
Even though he's like his total screen time is so little.
Yeah, but there were some mirrors and some differences in the way that Haruka came to see Tachibana. Because here's the thing. There's a huge age gap in terms of how much time they've had to deal with them being themselves. I'm talking specifically about Kondo and Tachibana here. Tachibana is young.
Yep.
Tachibana doesn't know fully who she is. In a lot of ways, she's in a transition period right now.
Yep, absolutely.
Kondo, however, he's more or less come to terms with who he is.
Right.
He's not 100% satisfied with everything. You can tell that he longs for that feeling to come back. Like if he could find some way to reawaken his passion for writing and have the words flow like they did, I can totally see him going back to writing in a heartbeat. But you have the way Chihiro approached things here and the way Kondo kind of... one... the thing about the privacy of him just kind of being like, I stalked you and waited at your place. I really wanted to see you and stuff. Yeah. It's similar in a lot of ways to the way Haruka approached her at her place of work, where she knew she would have her attention. Like in some ways, it's a bit of a, not a trap, but basically like I'm setting up the environment. We're going to talk. Like I'm going to force this. And the way Chihiro did it was a similar way, but because of the maturity and the time that they've spent together in terms of years, there's this ease that they have that Tachibana and Haruka do not.
Yeah.
One, because of their maturity levels, and two, just because they've spent less time together. So their relationship is not as strong as Chihiro's and Kondo's is, even though they have not spent that much time together really at all in the show, decade that it's been since they last spent time writing together and stuff.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder,
Right. And the fact that they can come back together and have these little rituals and the little coffee thing and stuff.
Right, a story in a minute.
And make fun of the short stories like, that was garbage. Just throw that away.
And I love how he like reads it and it sounds like kind of good for a bit, but then you're like, hold on a second, and they both just sort of like stay there not doing anything, and there's like, that was I couldn't do it either. Like that's just I love that so much.
Yeah, I really do too. And coming from people that love to write here,
that's so real.
We understand the little gimmicky rituals you do to try to instigate the creative flow.
And when you have something that you write that might have the seeds of being awesome.
Sure.
But the way it is right now is not
bad. You should just throw that away. And it's something that's great that when you're that close, you have no ego attached to your writing thing there. So when your best buddy's like, bro, that sucks. Like, that sucks hard. You're like, yeah, I know.
And in some ways, Chihiro was coming to Kondo specifically for that. Because they had the relationship where he could say, that sucks, bro, and have it not be a problem. Whereas
and he can talk about his own work in a way, saying that novel's a piece of shit. Like,
that's just something to what was it? Like,
to appease the masses.
To appease the masses.
To appeal to the masses, basically.
Right. Yeah. That's my. I need to
make
expand,
money.
Right. Keep the bills paid and stuff. But apparently, it's getting a movie.
That must be really depressing as a writer, though. Say you write like 10 books, right? 2 of them are, in your opinion, your masterpieces, your magnum opuses.
Right.
And 7 of them are average to passable, Yeah. And then you have like one that you're just like that one's not good. And like one of the average ones and the worst one are the ones that get the attention. And you're just like,
it makes
what is wrong with all these people? Either they're stupid or I don't know what writing is,
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle went on record to say, that basically if, 50, 100 years from now, people only remember me for Sherlock Holmes, then I feel like I will have been a failure at life.
Yep. And what do you know?
Yep. But, Yeah,
it's pretty sad, but it's also something that I think, as a writer, the fact that you have an audience, you have people that will be consuming your literature, your poison, if you will.
I love that analogy.
I love that analogy
because it's like it gets in you and it kills you, and it's like you have to get more basically, but you're just never the same. It eats you up inside, and
and it's also something that. Yeah, I would say that eating you up inside is the best aspect of it, because in a lot of ways, when good literature hits you, it consumes a part of you. But poison doesn't destroy matter. It doesn't, absolutely remove it to zero. It basically allows you to pass the things that it consumed.
Well, poison isn't a problem until it reaches your heart.
I was going for the angle. Yes, totally. I was going for the angle of where poison is a thing that's going to, in some ways, be like a detox in a way. It goes through and it eviscerates all of a specific type of thing. Anything that it comes into contact with, it just carves right through. But that residue, the stuff that it carved through, is left behind. And then it gets passed on. But the thing is that the holes, the wounds, the damage that it did, it's irreparable. It's something that, you remember the feelings of when you first read those, specific books and what they, impacted you. You don't remember, the details of, I remember turning to page 162. It's no, I remember when I experienced the Bridge of Khazad-dûm for the first time. And that feeling of just wonder and terror. And it's that is poison. It literally left a wound, and the whole thing of poison, I think, is really good because you notice the green overhue on Tachibana. I'm she's poisoned. You're right. Yeah. This is something where she might be intentionally medicating in that regard.
Right.
She's wanting to be poisoned by Kondo in a lot of ways.
Right. The fact that now I'm just thinking of that.
Don't take it that way.
Katy Perry song. But
don't.
But the thing is that the fact that she is getting frustrated by this means that basically it's not working.
There's a conflict.
There's a conflict. She is not, in a lot of ways, it's a fear thing. She's afraid of losing Kondo because she's becoming friends with him and all that stuff, and she does not want the same thing that happened to her and Haruka to happen to her and Kondo.
Totally.
Absolutely, completely understandable.
Yeah.
It also shows that she's young, So she reacts in the way that she does. She basically says, I can only do the one thing, right? I can't have my cake and eat it. And I basically have to let this dream die because
it's really sad.
My dream. And but the thing is that with the way that this show handles things, it doesn't bother me really because I know that it's going to get resolved in a good way. Whereas I feel like if it was in a different story, then it might not go well, right? Then
we have one episode left, Jacob.
Yes, that's true.
So what I'm gonna throw out there is that in a lot of ways, Haruka's whole thing was just resolved by her saying, "I'll wait for you
forever."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did say yeah. What that means is she's basically saying, "Fine, you won't give me anything to work on. You won't give me anything to go on here.
Right.
I'll let you know that at the very least, I'll be here when you decide to.
I'll leave a light on for you.
I'll leave a light on for you."
Yeah.
And that's so sad.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Like, because you're basically saying, "You hurt me. You hurt me a lot," and it's not something I can really blame you for. Like, I can't be mad at you. So I'm gonna
hope that you'll come around eventually.
I'm gonna leave a light on for you. Yeah. And here's something that's so relatable with that. So many of us have had friendships that just moved on. You know, it wasn't something where you guys broke up as friends or something like that. But it's a Fox and the Hound situation. Like, I was, crying my eyes out at the 6th or the 7th episode,
something like that.
Yeah. That's life. That's life. And the thing is that people change. People change, and sometimes people cycle.
Yep.
Sometimes it's not just that they actually like deviate off course. It's that sometimes they don't stick to the course and move forward. Sometimes they stay in a circle, in an orbit, and you're just like, I'm moving on. Can you at least leave that orbit? It's not like from their perspective, they're like, it's not something I enjoy. So, it might be unhealthy for you. And of course, Haruka's not going to go for that angle. If anything, she's just going to communicate that she's hurt by this. Not maybe as well as she could, because they're young and stuff.
Exactly.
But the fact that Tachibana didn't run after them at the end, that was the seal. That was the final deal, because the show basically was building it up to, all right, this is just going to be just like before. But the show's like, no, she's changed. She's grown. She's different now.
She made a decision.
She made a decision, and she is sticking with it.
Right. And the thing is that that's something where, again, it's another opportunity for the relationship between Kondo and Tachibana to be relevant more than just in the standpoint of Tachibana liking Kondo.
Yeah.
In that Kondo realizes what's going on. Like, he realizes.
Oh, yeah, he's starting to clue in. Very similar to his story. He's starting to see himself, I think, almost in some ways.
And he's bringing it up to her, like, hey, are you sure? Are you sure?
Being kind of an awkward, unsubtle dad about it, though.
Right. So it which probably isn't what she wants, which is why she slammed the locker closed.
Yeah.
But the thing is, well, in order to have, when you have a really solid relationship with someone, one of the things that you do is you call them out on their bullshit. So that's what I think we'll end up getting in the next episode, in the final episode.
Really?
Something along those lines. And of course, Kondo would do it in his own way, right? It wouldn't be in like an extreme sense, like you would expect from anime.
Because we would have a sad ending.
Yeah, grit those teeth.
We would have a sad ending if that was the case.
Not necessarily.
Really?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Because the thing is that I think that's what it would be if it was a situation where Kondo was more around Tachibana's age. But because Kondo is older, he's not going to come into it with a lot of like heated passion about the whole thing.
He's going to be cool and calm about it.
Exactly. Okay. And I think that means that they'll, at the very least, be able to have a great conversation. And then that also can be an opportunity for Tachibana to grow as a person, because she can basically reevaluate herself a bit and be like, okay, what is it that I truly want to do, and what am I going, like, how am I going to live my life, basically? And they can connect it back to Kondo because, he was in a very similar situation. So it's like awesome.
Right.
And then how they finally resolve it, I'm not sure. It seems like they're setting it up where in an ideal situation, because in the previous episode I talked about how this was basically where Tachibana was at, right? That she was choosing Kondo over track. But now that I think about it, that's not really an ideal, perfect, like all good ending.
No.
If they really wanted an all good ending, it would be something where she goes back to track And the fact that it might take her away from Kondo a little bit is okay.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because they have bonds that run deeper. You know, the deep roots are not reached by the frost.
And then he will be able to say to her, oh my God, that would be perfect. Then he'll say, I'll wait for you. Because the twist is that in these types of stories,
when you come back, you can read my book.
Right.
Yeah.
In the twist, I would say in a lot of this is that she would ask him, will you wait for me? But before she's even going to ask him, I think he's going to tell her.
Question mark and exclamation.
I'll wait for you.
Mark.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, and he'll do the question for her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing now some really cool potential endings here that I'm very much on board with, because I gotta say, this episode was brilliant because
it worried you.
It worried me.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of ways, the maturity of Kondo and Chihiro's conversations and topics and stuff made me realize how much I have missed that in anime.
Yes.
Like mature conversations talking about dreams, goals, and aspirations and stuff. Like I need more drama like this in my anime watching.
Drills piercing the heavens is great, right? And it serves a purpose. It has its place.
Yep.
But with stories where it's grounded in the real world,
right?
This kind of stuff is excellent.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So now that we are here in the endings next week, oh boy, I really worry about this, because in this whole story I haven't really related too much with Kondo and Tachibana. I've related more so with Haruka.
Okay.
Like just from a character standpoint.
See that.
Like
I mean, you are a Hufflepuff through and through.
I'm a Hufflepuff through and through. I don't like confrontation.
I don't like confrontation.
I'm an awkward, lanky running boy, and
so it's kind of like set up perfectly for you.
It's set up perfectly for me, and I've had Haruka's situation happen so many times. It's ridiculous. So I would rather it end like you suggested, with her choosing the track team in a moment of realization, maybe with Kondo's help, of saying that, like, you know, you don't need to prove something to me,
right,
in order to showcase that you care about me, and that you love me,
right?
Because, you know, like, I'm going to be focusing on me. I'm going to be focusing on developing who I am, writing, and that doesn't involve you, really.
But the thing is that just because it doesn't involve you doesn't mean that we can't be involved with each other.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is so good.
Yeah. Interdependency, not dependency, and not independency. So that'll be fantastic.
Wisdom.
And here's the thing. The name of this show is After the Rain.
Yep.
When people were like telling me about it and stuff, that was one of the things that piqued my interest a lot. After the Rain. One, I love the rain.
Right.
I like pluviophile all the way.
Yes,
all
you are.
But it's also after the rain. And you know that smell after the rain, that fresh smell, like where that's like full of possibilities right there. So the fact that that's the name of the show, it's got to have a happy ending. Because it's all about what comes after the rain, right? They're in a season of rain.
I'm still worried, Jacob. It's going to be great. I'm not expecting.
It's going to be fantastic.
No. I know. I'm not expecting necessarily a sad ending, but I'm expecting a poetic ending.
Sure.
And
but the thing is, it's not going to be like a sad poetic ending, because there are those kinds of endings. It's going to be a
I think it's going to be a more
ending.
realistic ending.
Well, possibly, but if it's a realistic ending, they wouldn't even be in this situation anyways. Like, not that this doesn't happen, but this is out on the bell curve is the thing. That's why there's a story about it.
And I know. And I'm sorry, Jacob. I'm sticking to my guns on this. I think because of the way this show is handling it so maturely, that it's going to be a realistic ending within the confines of what they've set up thus far.
Right.
And even in a lot of ways, that means not everyone has to end up happy and having everything that they want.
Well,
some people might not have their cake and eat it.
And
I would love to see a situation where we end up with all that is not being had is just things not being had yet.
Right.
We just have to wait.
So,
and that allows me to have the kind of meta knowledge that, you know, Tachibana kind of foreshadowed with the whole thing of, I think this needs a sequel, you know. I'd like to see where this story continues.
Right. Oh, yeah, that absolutely.
But the idea of having it be communicating the total story with just a small amount of data being what this show is, having a grander story told in just a small package. I see if that's what they're going for. The meta foreshadowing has been layered in already, Jacob.
Here's the thing, because I basically agree with you. Here's the thing that I want to draw attention to. You were saying this is a mature story in how they handle things, right? And I absolutely agree. And one of the signs I would say of mature storytelling is that there's a distinction made between what a character wants and what a character needs.
Yes,
and
totally.
Right here, we are getting conflict that arises because of Tachibana's wants. Right?
Conflicting with potentially her needs.
And in an ideal situation, in pretty much any story, it's that the character realizes what their needs are.
Yes.
Both in the sense of what they want, but also how far they can go, what they're really capable of and stuff. That's in the hero's journey. That's a very classic aspect of it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Of just sort of like really knowing who you are, right? And in this case, that is something that I think could apply greatly to this situation, because Tachibana can know what she wants versus what she needs, and then how that can basically, because if they do that, I don't think they really can have it be a sad ending. Like,
I don't think it's going to be sad. I'm just saying that I don't think everything's going to work out perfectly. I don't think that Kondo and Tachibana are going to end up in a relationship at the end of this show. I don't think that...
that might not necessarily happen, but I would say as long as the character knows truly what it is that they need and stuff, and they have that understanding about themselves, then almost by definition, that is a happy ending.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, because it might not be what they expected.
Right.
But I would say that is like the definition of a happy ending.
Right. I'm just saying that because of how much things have slowed down and we are getting deep into the characters understanding who they are as people, the story is going to end with them having a good conversation with a better understanding of not only who they are as people, but who each other
and how the two of them like interact in this existence.
Yeah. And I don't think they have to do that with everyone. I don't think they have to do it with everyone in the story. And I think that's the part that's not sad, but it's something that's realistic.
Yeah, well, and especially from the standpoint of Tachibana and Haruka, because I feel like
show it.
Right, they don't have to show it, because what will probably happen is that Tachibana will get her resolution in that regard, and then the idea is that then things will be patched up between her and Haruka, but we won't necessarily see that play out.
Yeah, we won't necessarily see it on screen.
We know it will happen, right? And that maybe it's about to happen, it's starting to happen.
Sure.
But we won't necessarily see it.
Yeah, but y'all, this is a good show. Jacob, great choice for your Tuesday slot.
And
I can't wait to think up what my Tuesday slot show is going to be.
Yeah.
And y'all will find out about that next week. So if you want to see that reaction right now instead of next week, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about stories or just hang out in Discord in general and just chat about whatever.
1 minute writing contest, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.